Hey guys, are you excited for the upcoming Batman movie? No, not the upcoming Batman movie. I'm talking about the upcoming Batman movie. Well, it doesn't really matter because they're both delayed, apparently. Yeah, you heard that right. Both of the upcoming Batman movies, the Matt Reeves directed one and the Andy Muschietti one, have been delayed. And this is, of course, a very interesting situation where there's already a question as to whether or not general audiences are going to accept two live action Batman at the same time. But one of them being delayed would have probably been better for both of them. But now they're both being delayed, and they're both just going to exist in limbo at the same time and potentially come out around the same time. Or potentially we could see the Brave and the Bold even farther than when the Batman got delayed to, or the Batman Part 2 got delayed to. I don't know. It's a weird situation. Let's get into these articles. So this is coming from Deadline here. It says, post-Christmas, Warner Brothers is busy making release date changes for next year before it rings in and beyond. The most prolific move is that Matt Reeves' The Batman sequel is heading from October 2nd, 2026 to October 1st, 2027. Production isn't scheduled to get started until late summer, and with a VFX-heavy sequel such as this one, a fall 2026 theatrical release is within reach. The Reeves movie will have IMAX screens. So it's interesting. It seems like Deadline is kind of like sort of giving like a criticism to Warner Brothers, where it's like, hey, just to be clear, the fall 2026 theatrical release, you could have done it if you really wanted to, just to be clear. And yeah, the funny thing is that I think people forget that the first Batman movie was also delayed a shit ton. Like, I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say that we were first hearing about Matt Reeves potentially directing it in like 2018, 2019. And then we started hearing like, oh, it's coming out in 2021. And then I think it eventually came out in 2022, right? Let's see. The Batman release date. Yeah, it came out in 2022. Jesus Christ, time flies by when you're having fun, does it not? So like I remember the first Batman movie, it got delayed a ton as well. So on the one hand, I totally understand people being scared, thinking that James Gunn is just going to cancel the Matt Reeves universe. But I actually believe the fact that, or I believe the explanation that Matt Reeves is just kind of a slow writer. Because to be fair, there was a bunch of extenuating circumstances with the other one, right? There was COVID. There was a transition out of the DCEU into this Robert Pattinson Batman universe. It's like there were some extenuating circumstances, but at the core of it, I do believe that Matt Reeves is just a really slow, creative person. And if that truly is the case, then, listen, as much as it pains me to wait until 2027 for the Batman Part 2, I say you let them cook. You know what I mean? You just let my boy Matt Reeves put on his little chef hat and stir the whisk in the pot and make a good movie. You know what I'm saying? I say you just let him do that, but it is very frustrating. Now, it does become extra weird where now, let's read the CBR article. The filmmaker being Andy Muschietti, the director of the Brave and the Bold, which is the DCU Batman movie that was going to exist separately from the Robert Pattinson universe. It says here, the filmmaker shared the news during an appearance on Vorterix's California Secreta via at Everything DCU. So this clip is like in a different language. We're not even going to try to try to watch it. Who translated the following Muschietti quote into English. The Batman project has been postponed a little bit, so I might do another film before that, Muschietti shared. Muschietti became attached to The Brave and the Bold in June 2023, the same month that his DC Extended Universe movie The Flash opened in theaters to middling reviews and poor commercial reception. So I think if we're still going to accept, what they're telling us, that both of these movies are in fact going to be made and that we're going to have two live action Batman at the same time, I would assume that the plan at the moment is for the Batman to come out after the Batman Part 2. or sorry, for Brave and the Bold to come out after the Batman Part 2. But even then, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, Jesus, are we really going to wait like 3 years after your Superman movie? 3, 4, maybe 5 years after your Superman movie to get your DCU Batman movie? I don't know if that's a smart idea. I feel like you would want your Batman DCU movie to come out like a year or two after your Superman movie, wouldn't you? That being said, James Gunn has kind of addressed this, right, in the past few weeks, right? Like, he came out and he said, like, listen, what we said before was true. We're not putting a movie into production until we believe in the script. And he said in the past couple of weeks that the Batman that the Brave and the Bold script wasn't where he wanted it to be. So, I mean, if we're taking that at face value, it could be as simple as the script isn't ready and Andy is going to go do some other project and then circle back around to the Brave and the Bold once it is ready. I mean, that is actually a reasonable explanation, to be fair. However, if we want to get conspiratorial, and we will get conspiratorial just for the fun of it, I think that if there is a drastic move that's going to happen here, I actually don't think that James Gunn would just destroy the Matt Reeves Batman universe in favor of the Brave and the Bold. I actually think that if anything was going to happen here, I think that we would see James Gunn just have the Matt Reeves Batman universe take place in the DCU and just scrap the Brave and the Bold idea completely. Honestly, I think that if they were going to do something like that, I think that's what they would do. Because the reality is that audiences are already very invested in the Robert Pattinson Batman. And I think it actually would annoy general audiences if they were to learn that the Robert Pattinson Batman is no longer happening and that we're getting yet another reboot. I actually think that might end up being a bridge too far for general audiences. And the reality is as well is that I think that Matt Reeves at this point has enough clout that I don't think he can be bullied around. To be perfectly honest with you, like, with his success with the Batman and his massive success with the Penguin, while yes, James Gunn at the end of the day is CEO of DC Studios and he technically could rip all of that away from Matt Reeves, I don't think that he would do that. I don't think that James would. I don't think that he would want to anger fans. I don't think that he would want to anger Matt. And it would kind of just go against the whole philosophy of his DC Studios, which is being creator first and not being obsessed with what they think is going to sell the most tickets and whatnot, but just making quality content. So, listen, until we are like definitively proven otherwise, I'm not going to freak too much. I'm not going to freak out about this too much. I think that, if anything, I think Muschietti gets scrapped just because the Brave and the Bold it's not a proven quantity like the Batman is. Muschietti is not as established and as like esteemed of a director like Matt Reeves is. I think if anything happens, I think the Brave and the Bold gets scrapped and Robert Pattinson gets put into the DCU, which is a reality that I'm okay with. I think it's also entirely possible that we do end up seeing both of these movies one day, which is a reality that I'm completely okay with. The only reality that I would not be okay with would be if they scrapped the Matt Reeves Batman universe in favor of what Andy Muschietti is doing. I would really not be okay with that, but I don't think that that's a reality or a feasible reality at this point. So, who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Obviously, none of this is confirmed. The only thing that is confirmed is that they're delaying these projects a bit. That's really it. Everything else is just speculation. But we like to speculate every now and then. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.